Back in my days, things are so different and so good. I think that's every generation's favorite line. But somehow, us 90s kids have made this completely our personality trait. Every other reel is about 90s fashion, 90s games, video games that ruled our childhood, Doordarshan ads, and whatnot. And then I started wondering, was the 90s really the best time like we all believe it to be? Hi, Nikki here, with absolutely no filters. Peace Lama. Every time I watch a movie from the late 90s or early 2000s, I find myself wondering how peaceful and beautiful life looked back then. Just the idea of living in compound houses where your neighbors were just extended family and your mom could just call out your name from inside the house and you'd still hear it 3 streets away while playing cricket. I think the parents just let us play on the streets, trusting the nearby neighbors to keep an eye on us. And my favorite memory is 10 kids literally being dumped into a rickshaw to go to school, and I think that's the most uncomfortable ride I would have ever taken in my life. But did I ever complain about it even once? Absolutely not. Because more than the discomfort, what really stayed back as memory is there was always somebody singing the latest song, there was always somebody fighting with another person, and there was always this one person showing off their latest stationery collection. Most of the times it was just scented rubbers. Everybody wanted a turn to smell it. Ride to the school itself was an exciting one, but school was no less fun either. All these computer lab periods, which felt like exclusive trips to the NASA, library period, PT period, arts and class period, they're all not just subjects. These were events that we waited weeks for. School life felt more wholesome and happier without hundreds of extra classes that we went to. Eating out was a luxury. We waited for our parents to take us out to eat on special occasions, and even back then, it definitely felt like a simpler luxury compared to today. Today, eating out itself is not as expensive as the choices you have to make to eat out. First, there comes a question of what cuisine you want to eat. Is it Chinese? Is it North Indian? Is it South Indian? Is it continental? And then, of course, there comes the question of the actual dish that you want to order itself. Are you craving pizza? Are you craving burger? Is it biryani? Is it fried rice? Is it noodles? And by the time you have decided the dish, then you have to select the best restaurant. You're sitting there comparing prices, comparing reviews, comparing delivery time or travel time, checking for parking. And just when you think you've finally decided your order, you notice that another restaurant has 40% off. And you're sitting there wondering, am I really fixated on eating Chinese today? Or does a 40% off feel more emotionally valuable? And now you're back at square one. Sometimes I genuinely wonder if just making two dosas from leftover batter would be way more easier and quicker. And it's not just with food. Like growing up, I was obsessed with this one dress that I had. It was a black shirt dress with beige collar and these huge brown buttons and cute little coconut tree prints all over the dress. I absolutely loved it. I wore it anywhere and everywhere. I wore it to family functions, birthday parties, random evenings at the park. I wore it everywhere, every time because it made me happy. But cut to today, I have a whole wardrobe of dresses that childhood Nikki would just obsess over. And yet, every morning feels like a fashion crisis. I'm standing there in front of my wardrobe with 5 outfit options and 10 others thrown across the room, going through the most ridiculous checklist of my adult life. Honestly, my fashion choices each morning are based on these questions. Where am I going? Who am I going with? Have I recently worn this outfit? Are there going to be photos today? Are there any recent pics on social media in the same outfit? Did someone actually compliment me the last time I wore this? Back then, the only fashion test that I had to put my clothes through was the sniff test, sniffing to see if it had been washed yet or not. And then it hit me. I don't actually find it difficult to make choices. I'm not even unhappy about the 1,000 choices I have for everything. But what really changed is I no longer have favorites of anything. I'm obsessed with trying new things. I no longer buy something or wear something or eat something because it makes me happy or because I like it. I'm constantly asking, is this the best option I have? And the tricky part with that question is, you can never answer it because there's always something better that's going to come along. Now I'm convinced. That's why, even after listening to thousands of songs, my playlist always searches for those familiar 80s and 90s music. They are nostalgia not because they were the best, but because I listened to those songs to be entertained. I listened to those lyrics and I felt something. I wasn't listening to something because it was trending. And somehow it became a very familiar part of my life. And every time I hear it now, it's a constant reminder of how simple my life was back then and how I was someone who knew what I liked. I think the nostalgia has more to do with feeling like you belong somewhere, feeling like home, rather than constantly trying to figure out, do you actually fit in? Phew. Okay, that felt a little heavy. So let me leave you here with this thought. Tell me down below in the comments what's the one thing that you missed most from the 90s, and I'll see you next week.